Welcome back, fellas. So, today's video is a review on the 1997 movie, Star Kid. This movie is one of my childhood favorites, but after rewatching it as an adult, I thought it would have lost some of its appeal, but it was still pretty good. I'm not sure if it's because current movies are just that bad when compared to this one. That came out over 2 decades ago, or that there's no creativity in B movies like this one anymore. But with that said, this movie doesn't try to be a bunch of different things. It's a straightforward science fiction adventure movie. It gives you a bit of backstory about an interplanetary feud between two races at war, where a top secret weapon that would have helped the peaceful race win against the invasive one is jettisoned off world to prevent the enemy from getting their hands on it. You are then introduced to the protagonist, a quiet kid called Spencer, who recently moved to the neighborhood. And surprise, surprise, he gets picked on by the resident bully and his cronies. There's the usual setup for Spencer: a busy dad, a deceased mother who left a void in their family, and an older sister going through a rebellious phase. And in all of that, Spencer's only confidant is his teacher. There's also this small thing with him having a crush on some girl in his class. But fortunately, it isn't a big part of the movie. After his run-in with the bullies, Spencer returns home and observes a meteorite landing in the junkyard near his home. He goes to investigate and finds a pod. When he moves in for a closer look, only to have the pod split, revealing a humanoid figure. The figure looks immobile like a statue. The figure then begins talking in an alien language, and after a few language samples from Spencer, the figure switches to speaking English. The thing even gave a full breakdown of the origin of the English language. Isn't it kind of concerning that an alien weapon has information on human civilization while we've got nil on them? Anyway, after a short introduction where the figure introduces itself as an advanced combat suit, called a cyber suit by its creators, the suit explains that it is immobile without a rider, and asks Spencer if he requires its services. Spencer's curiosity gets the better of him and boards the suit. But seriously, who wouldn't? Fortunately for Spencer, the aliens that designed the suit were child-sized even as adults. So there weren't any problems. After messing around in the junkyard in a few small scenes designed to show off the power of the cyber suit, he decides to use his suit to mess with his bully. Who wouldn't, right? It was a pretty funny scene of him just messing with his bully, while pretending to be an alien that wanted the bully's brain. But he did end up wrecking the car the bully's dad was commissioned to service. Poor guy. His son causes trouble, and he's liable for a lot of damages and possible loss of future business. But that isn't the end of the dad's troubles for the night. More on that later. So, after Spencer was finished terrorizing his bully with the cyber suit, he decided to go take a peek at his crush at an amusement park. But there was a case of mistaken identity on the cyber suit's part, where it mistook a mascot for an alien enemy and ended up causing a weapons misfire, putting his crush in danger and causing Spencer to act in the cyber suit to save her and her friends. Spencer and the cyber suit abruptly flee the scene. This is when an enemy pursuer arrives on Earth, an alien warrior called a Brood Warrior drone. I have to admit, the practical effects for this creature was pretty good. A little better than what you would find on an episode of Power Rangers, but it did have a menacing sort of look to it. The creature has a bunch of biotechnological weapons and abilities, so that was pretty cool. And the CG effects for it weren't that bad, given that this movie was made in the 90s. You just need to remember the CG from MODOK from Ant-Man Quantumania to get an idea of just how far CG effects have fallen, where this low-budget movie had better CG. In any case, a few small scenes again that expand the interaction between Spencer and the cyber suit becoming better acquainted. Like Spencer explaining his thoughts about his family before and after the death of his mother, and the cybersuit having similar feelings for his creator and the need to carry out its purpose of helping his peaceful creators fend off the aggressive invaders. A standard dynamic in these sorts of buddy-type movies. A situation occurs where Spencer then needs to seek the help of his teacher to relieve himself due to a malfunction in the suit. This is where the first encounter with the enemy takes place, causing a battle that wrecks the teacher's house with both sides retreating. Spencer becomes frightened and abandons the cybersuit after the battle, even when the cybersuit explains that if it is captured by the enemy, its technology will be reverse-engineered and used against its creators, ensuring their defeat, after which the Earth would probably be the next conquest target of the Brood Warrior race. Spencer ignores it and reunites with his family and tries to get them to understand. Naturally, they wouldn't or couldn't. He regrets what he did, and after a few encouraging words from his sister, he decides to return to help the cybersuit. But along the way, the bully confronts him, at which point Spencer stands up for himself, somehow earning the bully's respect. It doesn't really work that way in real life, but okay. That's not to say it can't happen. Or maybe the bully didn't cross the threshold to being a complete bastard yet. But by the time they reach where Spencer left the suit, it was already captured. They managed to figure out that it would return to the junkyard to erase any trace of their presence on Earth. So, in order to get to the junkyard, the bully steals his dad's car and speeds through the neighborhood. This guy's dad is not having a good night at all. I'm sure his dad wished he pulled out that one time. They arrive at the junkyard where the bully diverts attention away from the suit for Spencer to board it and fight the warrior. The fight goes on for a while with Spencer and the cyber suit holding their own, until the Brood Warrior gets the upper hand, causing the suit to become badly damaged and ceasing to function, causing both Spencer and his bully to think of a different way to stop the alien. Without the suit. After a little game of junkyard tag, they manage to lure it into a trash compactor and crush it, stopping it. At that point, the suit's owners show up and begin repairing it. It comes back online, much to Spencer's joy. Both Spencer and the cyber suit share a small heart-to-heart before saying their goodbyes to each other. The suit's creators give Spencer a medal for managing to take down an elite alien warrior, the only thing that serves as proof of the events that night. The next morning, Spencer starts the day with a confidence he didn't have before as proof of his growth. The bully is no longer a bully, but his new friend, and Spencer has the courage in himself to talk to his crush, while her friends make a killing off of t-shirts that have the cyber suit's face printed on them. Gotta respect the hustle. This brings an end to Star Kid. I'll admit, it's not a blockbuster hit, but it knows what it is and told its story well. What I liked most about it was how concise it was. No over-bloated cast of characters, no convoluted plot, no over-reliance on CG effects, but rather a respectable blend of CG and practical effects. No complicated sets, no gender confusion or identity crisis nonsense. Just a simple story about having a bit of confidence and courage to deal with a hurdle. Nothing more than an entertaining, straight-up science fiction buddy adventure. If you've got 90 minutes to spend, this movie isn't a bad way to use it. I'll end the video here. Till next time, bye.